Hi, I'm Rachel from RK Ribbon Designs, and I'm going to make a ribbon, ribbon angel with you guys. I made them before on my Facebook page lots of times, but it's always been a live, so I wanted to do it as just a regular tutorial so that you guys can see it without all the chit chat. So this is what a ribbon angel looks like. Oops. So you can use 2.5 inch ribbon, 3-inch ribbon, 4, 5. I've even done it with 6-inch ribbon. The only thing you'll have to adjust is the size, like the bell. And a lot of people just use a little ornament for the tops. I like using the bell because you can jingle it. But other than that, everything that I do is going to be the exact same, whether it's a 2.5 inch ribbon or like a 6-inch ribbon, okay? The only thing is just the bell. So we're going to do this with 4-inch ribbon. I feel like 4-inch ribbon works the best for, like, you get a lot of variety from your 4-inch ribbons, and I like the looks of them. So this was about, I think this was a 3-inch ribbon here. 3-inch ribbons are a little harder to find. Like, usually you'll find them around Christmas time. I believe this was like a Walmart ribbon, but the 4-inch you can find, like, you know, all year long and online and things. I probably got these either from Craft Outlet or White Bayou Wreath and Supply. I'm not sure. But so what we're going to do is we're just going to take it out. And I already have this end cut here. And I like to use like pinking shears when I cut it, just to help it with any type, if there's going to ever be any fraying. Even though we're going to fold it over, I just want to make sure that it's not going to. So I like to cut it with the pinking shears. They're just like the little alligator shears. They have like little teeth. And they're for sewing. They're not the paper ones. These are the ones for fabric. All right, so you're going to want to use wired ribbon too. It has to be a wired ribbon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it down. And I usually fold it about 3/4 of an inch. Or you can do like an inch. It just depends. Again, that's going to depend on how big, like how wide you want your angel or not. But I feel like this is a good size. So I'm going to fold it down, and then I'm going to fold it one more time. All right. And that's because I want to tuck that fold underneath there. So then I'm going to fold it back towards me, and I'm keeping the folds the same width. Then I'm going to fold it again. So it's like an accordion fold. So we're going back and forth. And then I'm going to go back again and then forward again. And we're going to do this for the bottom skirt, and it's going to be 7 times. So that's 4 now. And as I'm folding it, I'm pulling both of my hands away from each other to make sure that the ribbon stays nice and tight. So when you do that fold, it stays pretty even. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so I have 7 folds. So when I go to cut it, we're going to cut it a little longer. So we have this overlapping piece here. So we're going to take that and we're going to fold it down, and then we're just going to hide it between those 2 folds. So that way you don't have a raw edge on the back there. They're both just folded pieces. It just looks more finished. And again, like if you don't want to have any issues of any kind of fraying or anything. So we're going to set that aside. Then we're going to take our next piece and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it over, and you're going to want to make sure this fold, like this piece, is going to be the same thickness as your first one, because they're going to have to connect together. So make sure if you folded your first one at 3/4 inch, then this one's 3/4 inch. If you folded it at 1 inch, then the other one at 1 inch, then this one needs to be 1 inch. So just make sure. It can be off slightly, but you don't want it to be off too much. So we're just going to continue the back and forth. And this one, you only want 5 folds. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to, same thing, we're going to cut it a little longer, about 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch longer. We're going to take that piece there and we're going to just fold it down. And you want to make sure that this is still the same width though when you fold it down as the rest of your folds. All right, so that's that one. That's the back, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottom part, and you if you want to not have to worry about cutting this part, you can, and you could just staple it there and then open it. But when you do that, it leaves like a bulk part of the top of this ribbon that I don't like to deal with, because when you try to put the two, like the top, the wings onto the bottom, it's just too bulky in the middle there. So what I like to do is I just cut all of this wire part off of the top here. So what we're going to do is just kind of go through to see which end I'm going to cut off of. And I also try to fix it. So if there's any pieces that are like a little shorter than the others, I just try to pull them down. And you want to try to make sure that everything's as equal as possible before you go to cut it. So I'm going to just stretch it out as much as I can. And I'm going to take my scissors here and I'm just going to go right up underneath that wired edge, and I'm just going to cut it. So just a clean cut there at the top. And no, don't let it go, because now we're going to take our stapler. And I use a heavy duty stapler because sometimes I use ribbon that's really thick, and a regular stapler just isn't going to do it. So if you're going to be doing a lot of these and, you know, using different types of ribbon, I suggest the heavy duty stapler. This is a swing line that I got off of Amazon, but you can just use a regular stapler too, but it might be a little hard if it's, you know, thicker ribbon. So I'm just going to go right at the top of my cut there, and I'm just going to staple it down. So now I have that staple right there at the top, and then this is the skirt. So now I don't have all that bulk there. And also it helps when you staple, because when you try to staple it and you have all of that bulk from your wire, it's so hard to get a good staple. That's when your skirt's going to start to shift and it's going to look a little wonky. So to me, your best bet is to just cut that top off and then staple it. So that way everything stays in order. Now on this one, we're going to staple the middle. So you're going to want to try to find the middle of it. I've done this enough so I can kind of eyeball it, but if you can't, just kind of fold it in half to kind of give you a reference point. So you'll see where that fold is. So that's about where your middle is. Then you're going to take it, put it under your staple. But also remember, your staple it doesn't start here at the very end. It's kind of pushed in a little bit. So just as long as you know that when you're stapling it. And then we're going to staple that. So that's right there. And then you'll open it up, and then you're going to have, these are your wings. Just like that. So now you have your top and your bottom here. So what you're going to do next is, we can put this on the side. So what you're going to do next is you're going to put them together. So this is why I say this thickness has to match this thickness, because when you put them together, if this is too wide and this is skinny, you're going to have this back part, it might be like sticking out like that. And you don't want that. You want it to just be flush with the top. So it's not, you know, it can be a little bit, but you don't want it to be just like a dramatic, you know, difference there. So that's why you kind of want to make sure that you keep, otherwise you don't want it in the front either. So you want to make sure that it's together. And this is what I mean. If you have all that wire still at the top of your folds, this isn't going to sit. It's going to kind of sit up like that, and it's going to have like the little gap there. And I don't want that. I want it to just sit right there, just flush with your bottom. So that's why I like to cut the top, another reason. So now I'm going to just put some glue right here on the top. Just a strip of glue, and I'm using just a low temp hot glue. Then I'm just going to come inside and I'm just going to push that wing part onto the bottom part here. I'm just going to hold it for a little bit, just until it kind of sets. And then we have the top and the bottom attached. All right, so next thing I'm going to do is you're going to try to find a bell. So the bells are, so this is a 4-inch ribbon, And I find that the size of the bells that are best for the 4-inch ribbon. Let me see if they have a size on here. On the bottom. They don't, but I believe they're like 1.5 inches is what I believe they are. It's hard. Sometimes bells come in weird sizes. But these ones are from Joann's. But they got these after Christmas sale because they're pricey. Otherwise, they're $15 for 30. But you know they're usually never full price. So probably they're 40% off right now. But if you wait till after Christmas, always make sure you check because a lot of times they'll have the bells and they'll be like 70% off. So that's when I stocked up on them. And I like these ones because they already have a string on the bell. It's a huge time saver. And a money savers because you're not having to worry about finding a string. But I believe they're about 1 inch. These are like 1 inch for the bells. Yeah, they're 1 inch. And if you're using like a smaller ribbon, like the 2.5 inch, I believe you want like 1.5 inches. I mean, not 1.5 inches, 1/2 inch for the smaller ones. And if you get bigger, like if you have like a 6-inch ribbon, because I've made an angel with that before, then you want like I think like the larger bell. So to see, like this one is a lot larger. This is that size. So it's a little, it kind of looks like 1 inch too. It's a little over 1 inch, but I don't know the sizing of them. So you just kind of got to eyeball them. But anyway, so now we're going to, I don't know if I want the white or the red. You just decide what you want. I think I like the red better. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue. I just kind of flatten the wings down a little bit. And I'm going to put some glue right there, right on top of where you have that staple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my bell up. And then I'm going to come from the top of my wings and push down. And the reason why I do this is because that little clapper inside of the bell, if I put the bell like down on it like that way, it gets stuck on there. Which once it dries, you kind of like take a little piece of like strong wire or something to try to knock it loose. But it's time consuming, so I just don't want to do that. So this way, I just do it like that. And when I try to let them dry, I'll just set them like so they're upside down. So that way, when the glue dries, once you turn the bell over, it's not going to get stuck in there. So that's why I do that. I think it'll be good now because a lot of people want to hear that bell. I don't know how many people pick up the angels and they shake them. See, now it got stuck because now there it goes. They shake it because they want to hear it. So that's why I do that. Yeah, see, it got stuck. But usually I'll just leave it a long time just to let it dry. But see, if it gets stuck, I just take like a piece of my floral wire here and then I just hit it loose. So it'll get loose again. All right, so now I'm going to flip it over. You can be done here. You don't have to do anything else. But I like to put just something right there because sometimes you can tell that they're two separate pieces. And I don't like that. So I like to just put like a little flower or a little jewel or a little bow. Something right there just at the top, right under the bell. But you don't have to. Like this can be it. You could be done with your angel if you want to. But I have all of these little flowers that I got when I worked at a ribbon outlet. So these are some little like rosette things. And since I already have them, I'm just going to use them and I'm just going to put that there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there. And then I'll just put my little flower there. Like I said, you can use anything or you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. This is just a little added thing. And some people will put a little halo around the top, which you can just use a little piece of pipe cleaner, the gold or silver pipe cleaner, and just do like a little, you'll do a little stick and then a little circle for the halo if you want to. But other than that, this is it. That's it. You're done. And like I said, if you're going to use a 2.5 inch, it's this like the folds and everything is the same. 2.5 inch, 4 inch, 3 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch, they're all going to be the exact same amount of folds. So you have 7 folds on the bottom and 5 folds on the top. Now you can adjust that if you want, but I find like this gives the best fullness for me for an angel, but you can, of course, adjust it however you want and make it your own. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. All right, make sure if you do that you like and subscribe my page. All right, bye.